Hmm, alright. Okay, baru nampak kan? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, thank you, Eden. So ini adalah monoalphabetic cipher. So whenever we have the letter L, so it will always substitute it as the letter S. Okay, as long as we use the same key. Okay, so you can see the example. Hello. So this word contains a double L di tengah-tengah tu. So it is also substituted as double S because we assign L equal to S. Okay, so monoalphabetic yang pertama kita cover adalah Caesar cipher, or also widely known as Caesar's additive cipher or shift cipher. So ini dia punya the formula for the Caesar cipher. So for the encryption, it is so encryption means we want to compute the ciphertext, right? So ciphertext is equal to mi plus e. So mi is the particular plain text value. Of course, after we change the alphabet to numerical form, okay, and then E is the encryption key, and then we reduce the value mod 20, 26. So the modulo reduction operation will ensure that each ciphertext will always belongs to the set Z 26. Okay, in other words, the value for the CI remain in the range of greater than or equal to 0 and less than 26. So it will always can be mapped to the table. Maknanya setiap ciphertext nanti kita boleh map balik kepada kita punya table ni. Because the value for the ciphertext dia akan lies between the range 0 up to 20, 25. Okay, so itu peranan modulo reduction. So kita tidak akan dapat negative value. We also cannot obtain a value greater than 25. Okay, so tidak ada. So ciphertext will always can be mapped to this table. Okay, that is for the encryption. For the decryption, decryption means the inverse of the encryption. If the encryption is computing the ciphertext. So for the decryption, the aim for the decryption is to compute the plain text. Okay, which is denoted by MI. So it is computed as CI minus D, and then we reduce mod 26. So for the encryption, okay, for the encryption, I think it's easy because we are dealing with positive numbers because MI always positive, E also always positive. Okay, so when we add together, so come up with positive value. But for the decryption value, so sometimes we have to deal with negative numbers. So make sure you know how to how to compute the modulo reduction operations involving negative integers. All right. So this is the example. Let's say the plain text is crypto. So we assign each character in the crypto word as mi up to m6, and then we refer to this table. We convert from the character form to the numerical form. So once we have the numerical form of all the characters, then we can proceed to the encryption process. Okay, because the encryption process is represented by the mathematical formula. Okay, so kita kena convert dalam bentuk numbers dulu. Okay, so of course the key also in the number form. So our key is equal to 9. Then we do the encryption for each character. So we also have, because we have 6 plain text, so we also can come out with 6 ciphertext. So how to distinguish between plain text and ciphertext? So we use the biasanya plain text huruf kecil lah. Okay, biasanya. So kalau kita referring to the Caesar cipher lah. Okay. So biasanya ke huruf kecil. So untuk ciphertext kita akan wakilkan dengan capital letters just to distinguish which one is the ciphertext, which one is the plain text. Okay, so we do the same process for each characters, then we come out with the complete ciphertext lah. So from something meaningful, then it becomes now it becomes meaningless. Something you can see, you can read, but you cannot extract any information from that word. So that word is what we call as ciphertext. Alright. So to invert the process, sama juga we have to convert each characters in the ciphertext from a character form into a numerical form. Then we can proceed with the calculation in the decryption algorithm. So as I mentioned before, for the decryption, we have to deal with a negative value. So make sure you know how to do it lah, how to compute the value for negative numbers. Okay, so after all, we obtain the same plain text. Then we move to the second cipher crypto system or cipher known as a fine cipher, which is the improvement of the Caesar cipher. Okay. Uh, for this crypto system, we have two different values as the keys. Okay, the first one is alpha and the second one is beta. For the alpha, we need to make sure that the chosen alpha, because the value for the alpha is chosen. Okay, so the value for the alpha is chosen such that the greatest common divisor of the alpha and 26 equal to 1. Why? Because we want to make sure we want to ensure the existence of the alpha inverse, the multiplicative inverse of the alpha modulo 26. Because if the alpha doesn't satisfy the GCD condition, so that means the multiplicative inverse is not exist lah, dia tidak wujud. Jadi this condition is to ensure the existence of the alpha inverse. Okay, and then compute the alpha inverse. Then we can proceed with the decryption algorithm because decryption algorithm requires the value for the alpha inverse. Otherwise tidak boleh proceed lah dalam pengiraan the decryption algorithm. So I give you hint in exam. Normally I'll ask question regarding the decryption algorithm lah, because dia ada kan elemen tambahan sini alpha inverse. Jadi make sure you know how to compute the inverse. Okay, do practice the extended Euclidean algorithm. Kita sudah cover. I covered that algorithms into subject kan. The first one in the discrete mathematics saya sudah cover juga, and then saya revise lagi sekali dalam the previous chapter, chapter number 2 kan. So make sure you know how to find the inverse lah. Alright. So the following are the formula for the encryption and decryption. So dia nampak quite complicated lah compared dengan Caesar cipher. So because ini adalah improvement kepada Caesar cipher. Okay, so for the encryption and decryption sama saja. We have to convert from alphabetical form to numerical form. Then after that, we can proceed with the encryption and decryption algorithms. Okay, I think that one's quite easy lah. Kita start dengan crypto system yang senang kan? Okay, so in today's lecture, we proceed to the next type of ciphers, next types of substitution cipher. So what we call as polyalphabetic cipher. Okay, for monoalphabetic, whenever we change A becomes D, so it is always becomes D. But that not happen in the polyalphabetical cipher, because polyalphabetical cipher it's different with the monoalphabetical cipher in terms of we assign the character tadi. Okay, so in polyalphabetic cipher, a character in the plain text can be substituted to different characters, in the cipher text. For example, let's say we assign the letter A, okay, to the letter C. Okay, so it also can be assigned to different characters. For example, X and U. Okay, using the same key, the same alpha and beta. All right. So that means for single character, it can be substituted to few other characters. So in other words, the relation letters in the plain text and ciphertext is one to many. So for the monoalphabetic cipher, the relation is 1 to 1. But for the polyalphabetic cipher, the relationship between these characters are 1 to many. Okay, this is an example. Let's say we consider the same word lah, hello kan, hello. So in the hello word we have a we have a letter L appear twice in the plain text. So for the first time we substitute the letter L to the capital S. But for the second time it appears, so now it changed to other character which is capital G. So nampak kan perbezaan antara monoalphabetic dengan polyalphabetic. Alright. Okay, kenapa muncul idea polyalphabetic? Because in the monoalphabetic cipher, it can be attacked by the frequency analysis attack. Okay, ya, saya rasa itu pun saya sudah coverkan, yang saya sudah cerita sedikit how the frequency analysis attacks, because the attacker will consider the frequency uh, of each character in the ciphertext. Okay, dia akan daripada satu perenggan katalah ciphertext in for one paragraph of ciphertext, so the attacker will count the number of appearances for each character. Okay, untuk capital E berapa kali dia muncul, capital C berapa kali dia muncul. Okay, so after all nanti dia akan refer kepada satu graph. Okay, in that graph the attacker has the frequency for each character in that particular language. For example, in English, so in English letter yang paling kerap muncul adalah E. Okay, so dia akan tengok balik kepada ciphertext. So which character that appear most frequent in the ciphertext, so that ciphertext is highly probably as a letter E. So dia akan buat perbandingan begitulah one by one until the attacker can reveal the whole plain text. So that is the major problem for the monoalphabetic lah. So that problem is solved by the idea of polyalphabetic cipher. So now each character can be assigned to few different other characters. So dia tidak boleh buat lagi yang frequency analysis tadi lah. Okay, so what is the example for this kind of cipher? So kita ada V-generous cipher. So V-generous cipher ini adalah encryption decryption dilakukan menggunakan W, okay, ataupun satu table. Alright, instead of using a mathematical formula. So the encryption and decryption for this cipher is done by using one table that referred to as W. So the key for this cipher is in alphabetic form. Kalau tadi kita punya key itu dalam bentuk numbers kan, tapi ini dalam bentuk perkataan lah. So we can consider as a password. Okay, so this is the W. Okay, this is the W for the encryption and decryption. Agak-agak boleh hafal kan ni? Tidak perlulah. Kalau in exam, if I want to ask you about the generous cipher, then I'll provide the table. Don't worry. But the issue is how to use this table. Itu yang lebih penting. Bukannya hafal macam mana mau generate ni table kan? No, the big issue is how to use this table to perform encryption and decryption. Alright. So the W is open to public. That means everybody knows how to design the table or the W. Okay, so itu bukan issue lah. The issue is how to use it for encryption and decryption, and also what is the password. Itu yang lebih penting. Okay, so let's see how to execute this cipher. Let's say Alice and Bob want to communicate, where Alice wants to send a secret message cryptography to Bob. So they agree to use the V-generous cipher with a secret key. The secret key is Nokia. Okay, let's say Nokia is the password. All right. So in this, because this is a symmetric cipher, so that means the key for the encryption and decryption are the same password lah, the same key. All right. So we can use Nokia for both processes, for encryption process and as well as for the decryption process. Okay. So now let's see how to do the encryption. By referring to the W, Alice encrypt the secret message M as follows. So this is the encryption. Okay. At the W, at the left hand side is the key. Okay, at the left hand side of the table is the key, and at the top of the table is the plain text. And then we see the cross between these two values in the table. So the cross, the intersect value inside the table is the ciphertext. Okay, so remember at the left hand side is the key, and the top is the plain text, and the ciphertext appear in the middle of the W. Okay, so first of all, okay, this is the encryption. Okay, this is the encryption. Okay, let's see how to do the encryption. First of all, we have to to come out with this table. Okay, we write the plain text at the first row, plain text, and then followed by the key. Okay, followed by the key row, and then we pair each character for plain text and also the the key. So we write the key, we write the plain text in each box, cryptography, okay, character by character. And then in the key row, we write the password. So the password of the key is Nokia. So we just keep writing the plain text in the box. Okay, Nokia. So dia bila sudah habis, dia akan repeat lagi. NOKIA, repeat lagi, NOKIA, repeat lagi sampai kita cover all the characters in the plain text. So now each character in the plain text sudah ada pair di dalam dia punya key. Okay, setiap karakter tadi dia sudah pair dengan key. Now is the time to do the encryption. So macam mana untuk kita dapatkan P? Okay, so CN, the key is N and the plain text is C. So we refer to the table, we find where is the key? The key is N. Okay, where is N? So this is N. Can you see the cursor? Boleh nampak kan saya punya cursor ni yang gambar tangan ni? Nampak? Can you see the cursor?
Nampak, saya nampak.
Okay, so N is the key. So kita akan cari dekat atas pula adalah C. Ini C. So kita akan tengok di mana dia akan cross antara dua ni. So the intersection between the key N and the plaintext C is the letter P. Okay, it's the letter P. So we put P in this table as the ciphertext for the plaintext C. Next is R. Okay, so the key for the R is O. All right, so back to the table, we find O. Where is O? And then we find where is the intersection between O and also the plaintext R at the top of the table. So we move from O until we reach R. Okay, so R is represented by capital F. Okay, so we put capital F in this table. Next is Y. Okay, so we find the letter K in the left of the table. Mana dia K? So ini K, C, R, Y. So kita cari di mana Y untuk intersection pada top of the table. So Y berada di sini. Okay, this is Y. This is K. So the intersection between Y, which is the plaintext, and K, which is the key, is the letter I, the capital I. So we put I in the table, which is the third ciphertext. Okay. So we do the same process for all or for each plaintext and also key, and each the corresponding key, and then after all we come up with this ciphertext. Okay, with this ciphertext. So after all, this is the ciphertext of the original plaintext cryptography. From something meaningful, now it becomes meaningless. So let's see what is the where is the advantage of this monoalphabetic cipher. So we have a repeated characters here. We have R, we also have Y, we also have P. So each character denoted to two different ciphertexts. For example, R. Okay, R, initially R is substituted as F. For the second time, R is substituted as B. So same goes with Y. For the first time, Y is assigned or substituted as a character I. And for the second time it appears in the ciphertext, in the plain text, it is substituted as the letter M. Okay, so same goes with the letter P. For the first time, it is assigned as X. For the second time, it is assigned as capital P. So it depends on the password. Alright, so bila kita tukar password, dia akan tukar lagi. Tapi ini, this is the major difference between the monoalphabetic cipher and also polyalphabetic cipher. Kalau monoalphabetic, bila R equal to F, so whenever we meet R, it is always equal to F. But for the polyalphabetic cipher, it is not necessary, begitulah. So it depends on the key. Okay, so macam mana kamu nampak dalam this table. Okay, that's the difference between monoalphabetic and polyalphabetic. So ini untuk encryption. So how about decryption? So decryption dia kita tidak cari cross lagi tapi kita tengok flow saja. We find the key, we find the ciphertext, and we will look at the top. Apa dia punya corresponding plain text. Okay, sama juga we come up with the same table, but this time we put the ciphertext at the top row. Ciphertext dulu and then followed by the key. Okay, and we assign each character in the ciphertext with the corresponding key. So samalah, key pun Nokia juga. So kita akan repeat Nokia sampai kita cover the whole ciphertext. And then we refer to the W, the key and also the ciphertext. So we start from the key NP. Okay, NP. So we find the key N, and from the key we find the ciphertext. The ciphertext is P. Okay, so once we found the ciphertext P, then we see what is the character at the top, because at the top is the plain text. So NP, we found C as the first plain text. Okay, and then the second one, FO. Okay, so the key is O. We find the character F. O, F. Okay, so this is the character F. So we look at the top of the table. We have R as the plain text. So we put R in the decryption table. The next is KI. Okay, we find at the left, we find the K as the key. And then at the middle of the W, we find I. Where is I? So this is I. And then we look at the top of the table. Which one is the plain text? So the plain text is Y. Alright, so we proceed with the same steps to the other characters after we cover all or the whole plain text. Okay, so dapatlah balik kita punya original plain text. Alright, so what is the advantage of this kind of cipher? So it cannot be attacked by frequency analysis. So attack yang saya explain tadi, yang dia kira frekuensi setiap karakter tadi, so tidak boleh apply. It cannot be applied to this kind of cipher. Jadi maknanya apa? That means this cipher is harder to break compared to the scissor cipher and also affine cipher, because scissor and affine both are monoalphabetic ciphers. Ini polyalphabetic cipher. So tidak bolehlah kita gunakan frequency analysis lagi. Okay, nampak macam selamat kan? Tapi actually di cipher pun sudah broken. Nah, ini classical punya apa nih? Lama sudah. Jadi sekarang pun dia sudah broken. Okay. So far boleh faham kan untuk mono dengan polyalphabetic cipher? Okay, so kita sudah cover yang itu. Now we move to the second part of chapter number 3. Okay, kalau tadi kita ada substitution cipher. So in this chapter we have transposition cipher. Okay, so apa beza dia antara substitution dengan transposition? In the substitution cipher, we substitute one character with another character. Okay, so sama dengan that's how the name suggests lah. Okay, kita substitute. Tapi untuk transposition cipher, okay, kita tidak substitute tapi kita rearrange. Okay, this cipher does not substitute one symbol to another symbol. It changes the location or the position of the symbols. That means we are still in the same plain text. We still maintain all the characters. Kita tidak tukar kepada apa-apa characters, but we rearrange the order for each characters. If initially the character appears at the katalah di depan kan satu perkataan, and then kita akan tukar dia kepada kedudukan yang lain, sama ada di tengah-tengah, di hujung atau di mana-mana, but different position. Okay, so itu beza antara substitution dengan transposition. So transposition cipher rearrange or reorder the symbol instead of substituting the symbol. Jadi ada beberapa contoh lah, transposition cipher. The simplest one is what we call as keyless transposition cipher. So this cipher is dia tidak ada kunci pun, satu dipanggil sebagai keyless transposition cipher. So there are two methods for permutation of characters. The first method is the text is written into a column table into a table column by column, and then transmitted row by row. Okay, so never mind, later on I'll explain to you. Okay, the second method is the text is written into a table row by row, and then transmitted column by column. So ada two methods lah. Okay, first kita tulis row by row, kita transmit column by column, and the second one dia terbalik saja. Okay, so kita write dalam column, kita transmit dalam row. The good example of the keyless cipher using the first method is the rail fence cipher. So let's see what is the how this cipher works. So in this cipher, a plain text is arranged in two lines as a zigzag pattern, okay, column by column, and the cipher text is created reading the pattern row by row. Okay, sekejap ya. Okay, so we create the ciphertext is created by reading the pattern row by row. We write column by column and then we read row by row. Okay, this is the example. Let's say the plain text is meet me at the park. Okay, meet me at the park as the plain text. So we write this plain text column by column. So we have two rows. Okay, kita ada dua rows. So kita akan penuhkan column by column lah. So whenever we reach the second rows, then we have to repeat to the first row untuk next character. So okay, so kita tulis M-E-E-T-M-E. Okay, secara column by column lah. But the number of rows hanya ada dua saja. Okay, so jangan ada tiga atau empat. No, hanya ada dua rows. So mana yang seterusnya itu kita akan we bring that character to the other column. Okay, until we cover the whole characters. Alright. So MEETMEATTHEPARK. So we cover the whole message. Then is the time to read. So to read is row by row. So we read MEMATEAK as the first one, and then followed by the second part. Kita sambung saja ETETHPR. Okay, so we just combine. Okay, kita combine saja. Ada dua row kan? So kita combine the first row and the second row. So nampak from meaningful now it becomes meaningless. Okay, next, so macam mana membuat decryption? Okay, so decryption is done without any key. Sama macam encryption tadi, kita juga buat encryption without a key. So upon receiving the ciphertext from Alice, Bob divides the ciphertext in half. So dia akan bahagi dua lah. Okay, so kalau pembahagian itu tidak simetri, maknanya bila kita bahagi dua, tidak dapat integer pula kan? Maknanya nombor genap lah. The numbers is in odd numbers, so that means kita akan ada satu row yang lebih daripada yang lain. So the row with extra character will be located at the first row. Okay, so kita bahagi dua, so mana yang lebih itu pada row yang pertama. So kita akan tulis dia row by row balik. Okay, dan kita akan baca column by column. So dia reverse kepada encryption. In the encryption, we write column by column and we read row by row. So for the decryption, we write row by row and then we read column by column. Okay, so that is the inverse for the encryption process. So after we read column by column, so we obtain the original message. So senang kan cipher ni? So apalah dia punya kunci kan? Actually the kunci is of course the method. So the communicating parties tidak boleh bagi tahu lah kan guna method yang ini, because if there once the attacker knows the method, so habislah, because this cipher doesn't have any key. The only secret information is this kind of cipher. Okay, once the attacker knows both parties using this kind of cipher, so dia boleh do the reverse process. Tidak ada masalah, senang saja. Alright, since there is no key and the number of row is fixed to, it is very easy task for for Eve to recover the ciphertext. So all she need to know is that Alice and Bob uses the Railfen cipher to communicate. Alright, ini tak apalah dulu. Kita lewat sudah kan? Okay, this one. Okay, the next example. Okay, in the Railfen cipher, the number of columns or the number of rows are limited to two. Okay, so actually kita boleh juga pergi kepada different number of rows. So in this kind of cipher, Alice and Bob agree to use 4 columns instead of 2 columns. Okay, kan dia bersetuju untuk gunakan 4 kolom. Kalau tadi dia setuju untuk menggunakan dua rows, tapi sekarang dia bersetuju menggunakan 4 columns. So the number of columns is fixed, but the number of rows are flexible lah. Depends on the length of the plain text. Okay, so sama juga in this cipher. So dorang decide untuk menggunakan keyless transposition cipher by the second permutation method. Means write row by row, read column by column. Itu yang second method kan. And they also agree to use 4 column. So they come out with this table lah. Alice sebagai descender, so akan come out with this table. So fix hanya ada 4 columns, but the number of rows is flexible. Okay, make sure you cover the whole message lah in the table. So we write column by column, MEET, MEAT, THEPARK. We cover the whole message. And then it's the time to read. So to read is column by column. Okay, column by column. So we come out with the first column, susun dulu first column, followed by the second column, the third column, and finally the last column. So dapatlah daripada something yang meaningful, now it becomes meaningless. Okay. Alright, so how to reverse the process? To invert the process, so kita kena, kalau tadi kita tulis row by row, baca column by column kan. So kalau dia punya decryption, reverse lah. Okay, reverse. So kita ada, upon receiving the ciphertext from Alice, so how Bob can inverse the process? So Bob reverses the process, okay, by dividing the ciphertext into 4 partitions. Sebab kenapa 4? Because they agree to use 4 columns. So kena bagi kepada 4 partitions, right? So kita bahagi yang tadi tu, okay, yang ini kepada 4 partitions. Okay, so make sure the first 3 samalah. Okay, mana-mana yang kurang itu di bawah sekali. Sama macam tadi juga rail fence kan. So mana yang kurang itu di bawah. Alright, so kita sudah ada, we have now 4 partitions. Okay, and then it's the time to write each partition column by column. Okay, just write column by column. Okay, and then because kita tulis column by column, so to read is row by row. So tengoklah dia punya encryption macam mana kan. So untuk decryption, terbalikkan saja. If in the encryption we write row by row and we read column by column, so we change the process in the decryption. Tukar saja. So kita akan dapat balik the original message. Alright, so after all, after we read row by row, then we obtain the original message. Exactly, the original message. So Eve can easily decipher the message if she knows the number of columns. Kalau tahu number of columns and also what method to use, tapi method tu senang saja, dia boleh try dua-dua kan, tapi number of columns lah. Okay, if Eve knows number of columns, so memang habislah. So the key untuk this into decipher is of course the number of columns tadi. Okay. Okay, kalau tadi keyless, now kita pergi kepada key transposition cipher. So this cipher divide the plain text into groups of predetermined size. Okay, kita akan divide plain text itu kepada beberapa group, and the size itu kita sudah determine awal-awal lagi. Sudah bersetuju awal lagi. So the size itu dipanggil sebagai block. Then use a key to permute the characters in each block separately. Okay, so let's see how to do that. So let's say we are using the same plain text, enemy attacks tonight. Okay, Alice wants to send this message to Bob. and they agree to divide the text into groups of 5 characters. Itu dorang punya persetujuan adalah 5 characters. Then permute the characters by using the following key. Kalau tadi tiada kunci kan? Kalau ada pun satu huruf, satu nombor saja. Macam tadi number of columns. Itulah dia punya kunci. Tapi untuk ini, sebab dia ada kunci, so dia ada satu nilai, satu value di sini sebagai kunci. So the key for this cipher in this particular example is 31452. So this is the key. 31452. So if the attacker jumpa yang ini, okay, so dia tahulah. Okay, number of column pun dia boleh tahu sebab ada 5 digit kan. So dia kata ada 5 digit, cuma the arrangement of these numbers 31452 dia mesti exactly the same, barulah attacker boleh attack this cipher. So the key is 31452. So the encryption, okay, so bila kita susun nanti, encryption akan bergerak daripada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kepada the key. And the decryption dia akan terbalik daripada key menuju kepada 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, don't worry, let us show you how to do the encryption and decryption. But this is the basic idea of this cipher. Okay, so how to do the encryption? We are using still the same plain text, enemy attacks tonight. So Alice divides the text into group of 5. Why 5? Because the length of the key is 5. The largest digit in the key is 5. So kita akan bagikan kepada 5 characters. Okay, enemy ATTAC, KSTON, and the shortest one as the last group lah. Okay, so since the last group has only 4 characters, so that means Alice adds a bogus character. Okay, in the key list tadi kita boleh kekalkan dia kosong lah. Kalau satu row itu kurang kan, kita just kosong. Tapi untuk this kind of cipher, we need to make sure that each block itu mesti sama. Okay, in the previous blocks ada 5 characters, so the last block as well kena ada 5 characters juga. Jadi kita kena tambahkan satu karakter yang tidak mengubah. Okay, doesn't change the original meaning of the message. Okay, kita letakkan satu huruf X ke K ke, okay, di mana bila kita baca balik message itu, after we add the bogus character, we still understand what is the meaning of that message. Okay, katalah the original message tadi, enemy make text tonight kan. Okay, let's say I put Z selepas T tadi. So kita masih lagi faham the content of the message. Ataupun saya letakkan X di hujung, sama juga. We still understand the message. So the added character itu kita panggil sebagai bogus character. Okay, we have to add the bogus character to the last block in order to make sure each block has same number of characters. Okay, in this case we put Z lah, tambahan pada yang the final one, the final block tu. Okay, now so for each block, okay, for the first block we have enemy, so we write the first block, so kita ada this table, so we write the enemy at the first row followed by the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the correct order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the correct order, and in the third row followed by the password or the key. Okay, for the second row is the number in the correct order, the third row is the key. So the key is 3, 1, 4, 5, 2. So how to obtain the ciphertext? Okay, macam mana kita mau dapat EEMYN ni? Okay, kita tengok begini. Okay, tengok yang pertama kita ada 3 kan? So 3 kita cari dekat row yang sebelumnya di mana 3 itu berada. So the 3 is located here. So here is 3, so we refer to the 3 is located here, so we refer to the character yang di atas. So di atas ini adalah E. So we write capital E in this box. Next is 1. Okay, so we find 1 at the previous row. So this is number 1. Again, we refer to the character above the number 1. So the character is E. So we write capital E. So kenapa kita kena huruf besar ni? Supaya to distinguish between which one is the ciphertext and which one is the plain text. Untuk kita bezakan bah, mana satu plain text, mana satu ciphertext. Jadi kita kena tulis ciphertext itu dalam huruf besar. Okay, so the next one is 4. So the number 4 is located here. So we have 4 here. So we refer to the character above the number 4. The character is M, so we write capital M in here. Okay, so ini 5. So kita cari 5 di atas. So the character is capital Y. And 2, we refer to this position. We take the character above the letter 2 is N. So we write capital N. Okay. Alright, so for the second block, we do the same process. Okay, kita pairkan balik. Okay, the second block followed by the number in the correct order, and then followed by the key, and then we map. We find 3. Where is 3? 3 is located here. We refer to the character at the top. So the character is T. We write the capital T here. And then 1. Find the digit 1. So the number 1 has A at the top. So we write capital A in this box. Okay, and then again T. Sorry, and the next one is 4. We find 4 in the previous row, and we refer to the character at the top of the 4. It is equal to A. So we have capital A here. For the 5, we find 5 at the previous row. So this is 5, and the character above 5 is C. So we write capital C here. And for the number 2, we find where is 2. So this is 2. We take the character above the number 2, the letter is capital T. So we do the same process for other blocks, for the third block, and as well for the fourth block. Okay, so finally, we combine all the ciphertext, so we come out with this ciphertext. So from something meaningful, enemy attacks tonight, so it becomes meaningless. Tidak ada makna sudah, orang pun tidak faham apa ini kan. So inilah yang dipanggil sebagai ciphertext. Sekejap ya. Jam berapa mulai? Sekarang. Oke, 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 oke. Alright. So, okay, so I give you about 15 minutes to solve this problem. Okay, so using the key transposition cipher, so this is the password. So encrypt the following message. So nanti kita akan tengok macam mana kamu encrypt. Okay, using the cipher tadi ya. Okay, so that is the key. So let's see whether you can do or not the process. So previously the size is 5. Now the block size is 7 because 7 is the largest number appears in the key. Okay, so saya tinggalkan kamu sekejap. Okay, dalam 15 minit. Lepas tu kita akan continue balik lah dengan jawapan bagi kamu punya quiz. Alright? Okay guys, kita jumpa 15 minit lagi ya. Hello kelas, Bah, macam mana boleh buat? Okey kah? Dengar kak suara saya nih. Oh, okey, kejap. Okey, baik. Alright, so dia punya size block tu 7. So kamu pecah-pecah kepada 7 and the final block itu kalau dia kurang so tambahkan bogus. Okey, yang di hujung tambahkan bogus terpulanglah kamu letak X ke ataupun Z ke, okey. As long as dia tidak mengganggu ataupun mengubah maksud plain text lah. Okay, lepas tu each block tadi kamu akan buat satu table. For each block akan ada 4 rows. Okay, so the block itu terletak di atas, followed by the number 1, 2, 3 up to 7 in correct order. And then the third row is the key lah. Kamu susun the key itu. Okay, dalam key itu dalam satu row. Pada row yang ketiga. And then the final row tu baru dia punya ciphertext. Okay, ciphertext dan refer lah daripada code daripada key tadi kepada number in the correct order. So, tengok yang di atas kan, di top itu adalah dia punya ciphertext. Okay, so repeat the same process lah for the whole blocks. So kalau ada siap, cuba letak dekat chat box dia punya ciphertext. Kita tengok dapat ke tidak yang sama. Okay, so sambil-sambil tu I put the link for the attendance in the chat box. Bolehlah kamu sambil-sambil tu klik untuk kehadiran. Okey, untuk kehadiran sekali lagi saya ingatkan, tolong jaga kehadiran kamu ni dengan baiklah. Okey, jangan sampai kamu uh, miss untuk ambil kehadiran kan. So, sekarang guna sistem sudah bah? Senang mau pantau. Okey, so the link for the attendance sudah ada dekat chat box, so boleh klik sekarang. Okey, Yong Kam Seng sudah bagi. Okey, siapa lagi sudah siap? Okey, begini. Untuk dia punya jawapan kan, macam saya katakan tadi, so especially in exam lah. So make sure you write the answer in capital letters. Okay, just to distinguish. So ni macam agreement sudah bah dalam crypto kan. So untuk kita bezakan plain text dan ciphertext. Tapi untuk yang classical punya saja. Tapi untuk modern dia tidak kira begitu. So kalau untuk modern crypto system kita menggunakan ASCII table, bukan lagi table yang tadi. Yang table macam Caesar cipher tu kan, bukan. Okay, so kalau dalam modern ciphers kita menggunakan ASCII table. So huruf besar, huruf kecil doesn't matter sudah. Okay. Alright, so ini yang Kamseng punya jawapan ada dekat chat box, boleh tengok sana. So nanti kita tengok betul ke tidak Lagi ada yang dapat lebih kurang sama dengan Kamseng? Saya rasa okey sudah nih. Sebab macam the final block itu memang ada sikit saja kan I dengan C. Uh, tapi macam ada S lah Kamseng. Graphics. Kita ada S tu. Adakah? This one. Ada S kan? So bila kita add few bogus characters pun so mesti dia akan ada S di sana lah because transposition dia tidak akan ubah, dia tidak akan gantikan karakter, dia hanya ubah the position. Okay, dia akan hanya ubah position saja, tapi the original character still there. Okay, kalau substitution pula berbeza. We substitute one character with another character. Okay, alright, Daya Afza pun lebih kurang sama juga dengan Kamseng. Okay, so in order to understand memang kena buatlah, baru boleh faham kan. Okay, memang sama dengan Kamseng. Okay. Afzal, cuba post dengan to everyone, bukan private. Kamu punya jawapan tu. Send kepada everyone. Okay, so hopefully yang lain try juga lah ya. Saya sudah nampak ada dua jawapan yang sama. So thank you very much. So kita bolehlah buat assumption. Okay sudah ni. So memang kalau tengok karakter pun memang karakter yang sama in each block, cuma in different positions. Alright. So now we know how to do the encryption. Table, susunan table tadi penting. Encryption dengan decryption susunan dia berbeza ya. Okay, let's see macam mana untuk buat decryption pula. Alright. So we proceed. Okay, so we proceed. Okay, for decryption purpose, so untuk decryption, the block yang kita ada tadi, untuk ciphertext kita tadi, upon receiving the ciphertext from Alice, so apa yang Bob akan buat adalah Bob divides the ciphertext into 5 characters. Kenapa 5? Because they agree on a key where 5 is the highest or the largest number. Okay, so dia tahu bahawa size untuk blok ini adalah 5 lah. Okay, so dia akan bagi kepada 5. So berbeza dengan Alice tadi, Bob memang confirm lah sudah akan dapat blok yang sama size. Because Alice sudah already add the bogus character into the block. So Bob akan dapat exactly the same the block with the same sizes. Okay, sama semuanya sebab Alice sudah tambah awal-awal lagi. Okay, so for the decryption is in the reverse order. Okay, in the reverse order. So the table nanti akan ada susunan yang berbeza. Okay, so now we have 4 blocks. So ini dia punya decryption. So in the decryption, in the first row we write the block for the ciphertext lah, the first block. Okay, ciphertext and then followed by the password or the key. Okay, kalau tadi the second row itu adalah the numbers in the correct order kan? But in the decryption, the second row itu adalah the key. The key and the third row is the number in the correct order. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's see how we can obtain the original message. Okay, sama lah proses dia. Kita ada 1 di sini, so we find where is the number 1. So the number 1 is here, and we refer to the character at the above the number 1. So character dia adalah E. So oleh kerana ini adalah plain text, so kita tulis bukan E besar tapi E kecil. Okay, untuk kita distinguish which one is plain text and ciphertext. Okay, the second one, number 2. Kita cari mana number 2. Number 2 is here and the character is N. So we write N here. And the next one is number 3. We find where is number 3. Number 3 is here. We take the character above the number 3 is E. We put E here. Okay, and then number 4 is here. We refer to the character above the number 4 is M. And number 5 is here. And the character above the number 5 is Y. Then we complete the first block of the plain text. So same goes with the second block. We write the ciphertext in the first row, followed by the key, and then the third row is the number in the correct orders. In the correct order. So then we find one by one. Okay, number 1, find number 1, and we refer to the character above the number 1 is A. So we write the letter A in here. And then number 2, where is number 2? Number 2 is here. We refer to the character above the number 2, which is T. Number 3 is here. Again, the character is T. For the number 4, the character is A. And for the number 5, the character is C. Then we obtain the second block. Okay, so we do the same process, buat proses yang sama saja until we obtain the whole message. Then we combine all the blocks. Now block number 1 followed by block number 2 followed by number 3 and then ended by the block number 4. So as you can see here, this is the original message, although the bogus character is there, but then the content of the message is still boleh difahami lah. Okay, boleh difahami. Maksudnya masih tidak lari lagi. Okey, boleh faham untuk key transposition cipher? Senang kan? Cuma dia punya step-step itulah yang kamu kena faham. Dia tidak ada calculation pun. Cuma hanya ada the position tadi, how to do the transposition process. Okay? Alright. Ini tak apalah ni. Kita skip yang ini. Okay, this one. Alright, combination of keyless and key transposition cipher. Okay, kalau tadi kita ada keyless, kita ada yang berkunci, key transposition. So, untuk to achieve better, saya tidak katalah sangat secure ya, tapi saya katakan better compared to single ciphertext tadi, ciphers, kita boleh combine juga dia. Okay, so kita boleh combine the keyless and also the key transposition and come up with a new cipher. Okay, which is the combination of both lah. So why to achieve better scrambling? Kita mau lagi susah untuk scramble tu supaya the attacker mau invert balik pun susah. Alright? So in this kind of cipher, encryption and decryption are done as follows. The text is written into a table row by row. Okay, kita akan tulis the text itu row by row and the permutation is done column by column. Nah, macam mana ni? Okay, let's see macam mana kita selesaikan. The first step provide a keyless global reordering, while the second step provides the blockwise key reordering. Mana kita mula-mula gunakan keyless punya konsep and then followed by the key punya konsep. So kita combine, so come out dengan columnar transposition cipher. So the name is columnar transposition cipher. Okay, so how to do the encryption and decryption? So konsepnya sama macam key tadi tengok ni. The same order kan. Encryption kita letakkan the correct order di atas followed by the password. Tapi untuk decryption kita akan tulis dulu password and then followed by the number in correct order. Okay. Alright, so how to do the encryption? Alright. So in this columnar transposition cipher, we start by writing all the plain text in the table. Kalau tadi kita ada 4 separated tables kan, tapi kita sekarang sudah combine semua. Okay, semua blok untuk plain text tadi kita sudah combine. So kita ada enemy attacks tonight in this table. Okay, kenapa ada 5 kolom? Sebab dia punya kunci. The largest number in the column in the key is 5. So ada 5 column. So we write all the plain text in each row lah, memenuhkan setiap kolom ni. Okay, enemy attacks tonight. Okay, tambahkan satu bogus Z. Okay, so we write all the plain text dekat satu part di atas ni and then followed by the number in the original or in the correct order. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So after that, we provide the row which contains the key 3, 1, 4, 5 and 2. Okay, so now is the time to do the encryption. So kalau tadi kita tengok single character above the number kan. Tapi sekarang kita tengok the whole column above that number. Okay, for example, okay, at the first position we have 3. So we find where is 3? 3 is here at the third column. So we refer to the whole block here, the column above the number 3. So we have ETTH. So we take the whole column as the ciphertext column. So we have ETTH. Alright? ETTH, exactly the same but in different representation lah. Sini huruf kecil, yang sini huruf besar. To distinguish which one is the plain text, which one is the ciphertext. Okay, the second position is number 1. So where is number 1? Number 1 is here. So we take the whole block above the number 1. So we have E-A-K-I. So we have capital E, A, K, and I in the second column of the ciphertext. Okay, boleh? Okay, next is number 4. Number 4 is here. So we take the whole block, we take to this position, M-A-O-T, but in capital letters. Number 5 is here. we take the whole block, we take to this position. So we have Y, C, N, and Z. And the final one is number 2. Number 2 is here. So we take all the characters in this block in this position. So how to read the plain text? And sorry, the ciphertext. So the ciphertext is read column by column. So we take column number 1, we take number 1 here, column number 2 in the second position, column number 3 in the third position, column number 4 in the fourth position, and then the final block is the column number 5. Okay, so make sure you arrange in the correct order. So kalau kita susun dalam order yang salah, so nanti decryption pun akan salah lah. Okay? Alright, so selesai dengan encryption. Now is the time to decrypt. So this ciphertext will travel through insecure channel from Alice to Bob. Okay, so upon receiving this message, so apa Bob yang akan buat? So dia akan letakkan, dia akan pecahkan ini kepada blok yang sama lah, 5 blocks. Okay, so ada the block pertama adalah ETTH. Okay, ETTH is the first block. So Bob will take the first block in the first column of the ciphertext. So dia akan letakkan first block di sini. Okay, the second block will be located in the second column. The third block will be located in the third column, followed by the fourth block, and then ended by the fifth block. Okay, so ini block untuk ciphertext. We write column by column. Column number 1, column number 2, up to column number 5. Okay. The next row is the password or the key. So the key is 31452. And the next row is the number 1 to 5 in the correct order. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so how to obtain the plain text? So sama juga lah. We find number 1. Number 1 is here. So we take the whole column to this position. But then from capital letters, now sudah jadi huruf kecil lah di sini nih. Kan? Okay, in lowercase. Dalam bentuk lowercase lah kan? Jadi untuk bezakan mana satu ciphertext, mana satu plain text. Okay, the second one, number 2. Where is number 2? Number 2 is here. So we take the whole block. We take to this column. Okay. Number 3 is here. Again, we take the whole block. We take to this column. Number 4 is here. We take the whole block to this column. And number 5 is here. We take the whole column in here. And then how to read the message? We read the message row by row. Enemy attacks tonight. So sudah dapat balik the original message. Alright. So that's what we call as columnar transposition cipher. So macam juga tadi yang key transposition tu, cuma kita sekarang consider block terus. Kita tidak do separated blocks macam tadi kita buat few tables begini kan. Tapi ini kita combine semua. Okay, dalam satu table yang sama. Okay, so that's what we call as key transposition. Sorry, columnar transposition cipher. So make sure you know based on dia punya nama ni macam mana to do encryption dengan decryption. So maybe in your midterm, I'll ask you to do encryption and decryption based on the given name of the cipher lah. So kalau kamu tidak hafal cipher tu macam mana, so macam mana menjawab kan? So make sure kamu ingatlah. Untuk keyed cipher macam mana, untuk columnar transposition macam mana, untuk French rail cipher macam mana. Kan? So setiap cipher itu ada kaedah yang tersendiri. Okay. Okay, alright. Okay, so kalau tadi cipher kita boleh asingkan atau kita boleh categorize sebagai substitution dengan transposition. So sebenarnya cipher juga dalam satu sudut yang lain, kalau kita mau divide the cipher also can be divided to stream and blocks. Okay, this is based on the way how to encrypt and decrypt. The symmetric ciphers can be divided into two broad categories. The first one, what we call a stream cipher, and the second one is a block cipher. Okay. Saya rasa macam banyak betul sudah kan? Kamu bingung pula. Boleh kita stop di situ dulu? Ini panjang lagi nih. Oke, saya rasa cukup dulu. Ya, kita sudah cover tadi keyless kan. Kalau kita pergi kepada keyed, kita ada lagi general cipher. So banyak cipher kamu belajar hari ini. So takut kamu pening. So saya rasa cukup di situ dulu. So later kita akan proceed to the next yang inilah. Okay, ada dalam about 20 pages lagi untuk this chapter. Alright, so any question class? So make sure you click the attendance link tadi ya. Jangan lupa untuk klik. Okay, so if there is no question, then cukup dulu di situ. So stay safe, jaga diri kamu di mana-mana pun kamu berada. Kita jumpa lagi dalam next lecture. Okay, class. Thank you very much. Class dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Alright. Alright.
Thank you,
Jangan
sir.
lupa. Okay, sama. Attendance jangan lupa ya. Okay.
Sir.